Coming up on WFT Midday, President Trump imposes new tariffs, escalating trade tensions with U.S. partners.
Plus, a drone strike hits Chernobyl, raising fears over nuclear safety in Ukraine.
And a kayaker swallowed by a whale and lives to tell the tale. WFT Midday starts now.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
Big changes are coming to U.S. trade. President Trump just signed a plan to slap new tariffs on trading partners. The goal, to match the taxes other countries charge on American imports. Welcome to WFT Midday. I'm Sofia Mendez.
And I am Oriana Torre. The White House says this will protect U.S. businesses and bring jobs back home. But critics worried it could spark trade wars and make everyday goods more expensive. Some economists say higher prices could hit consumers sooner than expected. CNN's Julia Benbrook has more from Washington.
Another busy week here at the White House. President Donald Trump announced several new tariffs, including a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports, as well as sweeping reciprocal tariffs that he described as, if they charge us, we charge them. Trump had several key phone calls focused on the war in Ukraine. He spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin on the phone for about 90 minutes, and Trump described that call as lengthy and highly productive. Following that call, he said that the negotiations to end the war should start immediately. He also spoke on the phone with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and said that that call went, quote, very well. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance, as well as Secretary of State Marco Rubio, are meeting with Zelensky on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference. All of these conversations are taking place as we near the anniversary, the 3-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
A dangerous situation at Chernobyl. Ukrainian officials say a Russian drone strike hit the nuclear plant, sparking a brief fire. President Zelensky is calling it an act of nuclear terrorism, while Russia insists it had nothing to do with it. The good news, radiation levels are still normal and there's no immediate danger, but this attack is raising serious concerns about nuclear safety in the middle of a war zone. Global leaders are watching closely, worried about what could happen next. For now, the focus is on preventing any further escalation and keeping these critical sites protected.
Pope Francis, 88, has been hospitalized in Rome due to bronchitis after experiencing breathing difficulties. The Vatican reports he will undergo diagnostic tests and continue treatment at Gemelli Hospital. This hospitalization has led to the cancellation of his appointments until at least Monday. Despite recent health challenges, including the use of a wheelchair and previous falls, the Pope has maintained a busy schedule. The Vatican has not specified how long he will remain hospitalized.
It's been a warm start to the month, with every day of February bringing us warmer than average temperatures.
But today we are cooler and breezy. Temperatures are back to near average after a round of rain yesterday. WFT Nicole Borman says that we are shifting into a stormier and cooler pattern. She joins us now with our forecast.
That's right, guys. Love is not the only thing in the air today. We have that clouds all over the sky, over Century Tower, and over the stadium. Temperatures right now in those low 70s. Those winds are starting to pick up from the east at 13 miles per hour right now. All over the state, we're seeing those upper 60s and those low 70s across the board. We're seeing 68 in Gainesville, 69 in the Bronson, 73 in Ocala, and it doesn't stop there. We're going to be seeing an even warmer afternoon. We're seeing 71 in Gainesville, 73 in the Bronson, 76 in Ocala, but that warmth might not be here for very long. We're going to be tracking this low pressure system that's going to be pushing down into the south, into Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and into the Panhandle, and then over the weekend would be hitting us here in Florida. So I'll be telling you more about that in the broadcast, what you should be looking out for in your Valentine's Day plans today, the warm weather for tomorrow, and that drastic shift on Sunday with that storm we might be seeing.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was sworn in as President Trump's health secretary after a close Senate vote of 52-48. Despite Kennedy's controversial stance on vaccines, Republicans mostly supported his nomination, while Democrats unanimously opposed it. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell was among those who voted against him. Kennedy emphasized his intent to monitor vaccine side effects closely and shift public health focus toward chronic diseases like obesity. The appointment has stirred debate with concerns about Kennedy's financial interests and his ability to maintain current vaccine recommendations. Dr. Paul Offit speaks on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. being confirmed as Health and Human Services Secretary and what worries him the most about RFK Jr. leading this HHS.
A powerful storm drenched Los Angeles, triggering evacuation warnings in areas scarred by recent fires. CNN Maribel Gonzalez reports from Los Angeles County.
Recently scorched land across Southern California is now soaked.
We weren't sure if we were going to have access to this because we were worried about the landslides.
Evacuation warnings or orders are in place across 6 counties in the region until Friday due to the risk of destructive debris flow.
There are a lot of individual homes that are against the hills where the mud can come down.
Already, mudslides and flooding forced the closure of California's Pacific Coast Highway, an area ravaged by the Palisades fire in January.
This is a widespread event that could impact a lot of different areas within the city, but especially hazards in and around the areas that have recently burned.
Further up that highway, Pepperdine University moved to remote classes due to the inclement weather and road closures.
Be ready. The state of readiness is critical to being able to survive a major event should it go in the wrong direction.
Now, while the concern for too much rain is high, FEMA says some water is welcome, helping them with safer debris removal in areas that were reduced to ash.
We actually use wet methods to keep down the dust, so we're constantly wetting it down. So right now we're getting a little extra help on the wet method.
In Los Angeles, I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
A kayaker in Chilean Patagonia had a close call when a humpback whale briefly swallowed him. The incident occurred near San Isidro Lighthouse in the Strait of Magallanes. Adrian Simancas was kayaking with his father when the whale emerged and engulfed him. Fortunately, the whale quickly released Adrian, who resurfaced unharmed. The entire episode was captured on video by his father.
Florida House and Senate representatives passed a plan to crack down on illegal immigration today as the special legislative session came to a close. The bill is heading to the governor's desk. Will create a state board for immigration enforcement. The board is in charge of doling out $250 million in grants to local law enforcement agencies to combat illegal immigration. The measure would also take away in-state tuition for DACA dreamers or undocumented immigrant students. A separate bill would make it a state crime to be in the country illegally. Senator Don Gates says the legislation will make Florida a safer place.
Illegal immigrants who shouldn't have been here in the first place have committed crimes that devastate families and victimize Floridians. It is our job to deal with this issue.
But State Representative Anna Skimani says the legislation won't help most Floridians, and it is just an attempt to appease President Trump.
They're going to sign this bill and take a victory parade while our immigrant communities are going to continue to be targeted and live in fear.
The governor is expected to sign the measures into law. Gainesville police need your help tracking down a suspect involved in an armed robbery at Smokeville on February 8th. Investigators say the suspect entered the shop at Northwest 6th Street just before midnight, armed with a large knife. He stole cash from the register before taking off. Police are asking the public to pay close attention to the suspect's distinctive shoes and voice from an audio clip. If you have any information, contact Gainesville Police Department. You can also remain anonymous and could receive up to $1,000.
Bradford County Fire Rescue is celebrating the grand opening of its brand new Station 90. The groundbreaking ceremony is set for today at 3:30 p.m. Officials say the new station will help improve emergency response times in the area. Residents are invited to join firefighters and local leaders for the celebration.
Now it's time to take a live look over I-75. Traffic is flowing steadily. It's a beautiful, nice day for a Valentine's lunch meetup. After record heat yesterday, we are expecting a few rounds of rain and cooler temperatures. UF forecaster Nicole Borman will tell us about the return of cool weather.
That's right, guys. Yesterday it was hot, hot, hot. We were seeing record highs in Gainesville of 89, the earliest it's ever been this early on in the year. Last time was in 2020 when it was 85 degrees, but those temperatures are still staying pretty warm right now. We're seeing a little bit of an overcast of clouds, not much sunshine, but those temperatures are in those low 70s with those winds beginning to pick up right now. Could be seeing them a little bit more into the afternoon, but right now those temperatures all over north central Florida are sitting in the 70s and those upper 60s. We're seeing 70 in Gainesville right now, 73 in Ocala, and 75 in Crystal River. And later on into the afternoon, we could be seeing even warmer temperatures. We're seeing as an increase in many of those temperatures. Might be seeing some patchy fog later on, but for the most part, we're seeing 68 in Lake City, 71 in Gainesville, 73 in the Bronx, going on later on into today. And with the later on into the afternoon, more on into tonight, we're seeing a pick up of those winds, seeing 20 miles per hour as temperatures dipping out into those mid 60s, and then as the night goes on, we're seeing them dip into even the lower 60s, those low 60s. And tomorrow morning, we could be waking up to those exact same temperatures. We're seeing 60 in Gainesville, 64 in Ocala, 62 in Crystal River. Mainly, we're going to be seeing that later on into the week because that warmth is really not here to stay for right now, so enjoy it while you can. We're going to be tracking this low pressure system right now for the rest of your weekend, pushing in towards Florida. It'll be affecting Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and us here in Florida. But right now, we're going to be seeing as it's going to be affecting those on Saturday. Not much here in Florida, a little bit of the panhandle, but they could be experiencing 70-mile-per-hour winds, some tornadoes, and even quarter-sized hail. Now, we're seeing a better look of how that's going to pan out for the rest of the weekend. So as the storm continues to pass through on Saturday, we're seeing as that low pressure system pushes all of that rain, all of that wind towards us, continues to pass over us on Sunday, sitting here on Sunday on top of us, and then as Sunday passes through into Sunday night, completely cleared of it. Now, for us here in Florida, we're going to get a better look of what that's going to look like in the entirety of it. All this affected area right here in the green is going to be experiencing 60-mile-per-hour winds, some isolated tornadoes, and the possibility for some parts of this area. But for your weekend, we could be seeing some drastic changes on Sunday. We're seeing those low 80s on Saturday with a lower chance of rain, but then we're going to be seeing that cooler weather on Sunday. Now for your 7-day outlook, we're seeing that staggered decrease in our temperatures going into next week, starting off right now in those low 80s and then dropping all the way to the 50s on by next Friday with those chances of rain throughout the week.
Love is swarming the air during Valentine's season, but so are higher chocolate costs. Our reporter Nicole Beltran spoke with a local chocolate shop to learn more about the rising costs.
A season of teddies, flowers, hearts, and chocolate. But at what cost? Kathleen Blage, owner of Thornbrook Chocolates, says it's a noticeable difference.
It is skyrocketing, the cost of chocolate.
The Gainesville Confectionery Shop started in 1985 and offers customers plenty of treats to choose from. Balgay, who took over ownership in 2011, says any festive season is guaranteed to be busy.
But despite that holiday rush, Blage is eyeing the escalating costs.
I did see a recent email from one of our chocolate retailers that said chocolate prices have gone up about 130% in the last year.
Reasons for increasing prices can vary, according to Malek Hamami, a UF professor specializing in agricultural economics.
If there is no big production here, it means that there is a big reliance on the international market. It will rely on delivery times. It will rely on the weather at the location of production.
A December 2024 market report from the International Cacao Organization assessed high cacao costs are from Africa's dry weather conditions that usually run till March. Ivory Coast and Ghana are the world's leading exporters of cacao beans. The report concludes that chocolate manufacturers may end up raising prices for their products to keep up with the higher production costs. The impact trickles down to the businesses and even the customers, leaving places like Thornbrook Chocolates with a tough choice.
When it does add up, we definitely have to increase our prices to accommodate that. It's the only way we can stay open.
But the Valentine's season is a kind reminder that business continues to thrive at the shop and that love is priceless. In Gainesville, Nicole Beltran, WUFT News.
Bad news for coffee lovers. Your morning cup is getting more expensive, and climate change is a big reason why. Droughts in major coffee growing countries like Brazil and Vietnam are cutting down coffee bean production. That means fewer beans, higher demand, and record-breaking prices. If this trend continues, your daily caffeine fix could cost even more. Experts say climate change isn't just affecting coffee, it's hitting all kinds of crops worldwide. If you got an Igloo rolling cooler, you might want to check it out. Over 1 million are being recalled. The problem? The tow handle can pinch fingers and in some cases even cause serious injuries like fractures and amputations. Igloo says they've already had dozen reports of people getting hurt. These coolers were sold nationwide at stores like Costco and Target since 2019. Consumers should stop using these coolers immediately and contact Igloo for a free replacement handle.
Now, let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, soy Sabrina Cruz con tus noticias en 90 segundos. Se presentan muchos dilemas en cuanto al cambio del nombre del Golfo de México. La presidenta mexicana, Claudia Sheinbaum, dijo que su gobierno no descartaría presentar una demanda civil contra Google si mantiene su posición de llamar al Golfo de México como Golfo de América. El presidente Donald Trump firmó una orden ejecutiva para el cambio del nombre de dicho golfo. Además, reporteros de la prensa asociada se les han prohibido reportar desde la Casa Blanca por no seguir las órdenes y adoptar su estilo AP llamándolo el Golfo de América. El Senado votó en favor de Robert F. Kennedy Jr. como secretario del Departamento de Salud y Servicios Humanos. Con una votación 52-48, con la mayoría de los republicanos votando por RFK, menos el senador Mitch McConnell, el cual ha votado en contra de 3 nominaciones del presidente Trump. El secretario RFK estará a cargo de las agencias federales, la Administración de Alimentos y Medicamentos, los Institutos Nacionales de Salud, los Centros de Servicios de Medicare y Medicaid y los Centros para el Control y Prevención de Enfermedades. Por fin, el desfile de los higos será celebrado este día de San Valentín. Los fanáticos de los Eagles estarán acompañando a los campeones del Super Bowl y el mariscal de campo Jalen Hurts mientras pasean por Filadelfia. Se espera que aproximadamente 1 millón de personas asistan al evento. Los líderes de la ciudad han pedido a los fanáticos del equipo que se mantengan seguros y con ambiente festivo. El desfile de campeonato comienza a las 11 de la mañana cerca del Estadio del Sur de Filadelfia con una ceremonia programada para comenzar a las 2 de la tarde en el Museo de Arte. Esas fueron sus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
Now let's get over to WFT First at 5 anchor Mar Roaches with a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, remembrance, immigration, and online dating. First, we remember those lost in the mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School 7 years ago today. Also, Florida approves measures that will strengthen illegal immigration enforcement and an increase in online dating scams. All that and more at 5.
Before we go, one last check on the weather.
That's right, guys. Those temperatures are going to be all over the place this week. We're seeing them dip into the 60s by Monday past the weekend, but all the way into the 50s on Friday. So we could be seeing that increase in rain all over. We're seeing highest on Sunday and on Wednesday. We might get a little bit of a gap between that on Monday and Tuesday, but throughout the week we could be seeing those chillier temperatures. Make sure to grab a jacket. You know, I know we're really used to this warm weather right now, but it's not really here to stay for too long. Right now the temperatures, though, if you have any plans today during the week or today or during the weekend, we could be seeing those warmer temperatures on Saturday than we could be seeing on Sunday. So definitely be sure to stay indoors this week.
Thanks for joining us for WFT Midday. We're here back tomorrow for another edition.
And we will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5. Have a great afternoon.